Hey crafty people, welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Welcome back. It's Christmas in July meets 12 months of Christmas cards today, and so we're going to be working on some Christmas cards. And you may hear some booming in the background because I'm filming this on the 4th of July. And even though it's still light out, my neighbors seem to think it's appropriate to set off fireworks. It's a pet peeve of mine because my dog does not like the fireworks, and the fact that they set them off all day and night, really not cool. So for these cards, I have got the alcohol inked backgrounds from, I think it was April's Christmas card. I will leave a link to that video down below where I was doing the Tim Holtz Ornament die, which actually I've got them sitting here. And I did the alcohol ink backgrounds, and when I started layering everything up, it just wasn't quite working right. So I ended up pivoting and doing something different for that card where I inked, what did I end up inking? I think I ended up inking metallic cardstock, and that worked much better. I was having far less difficulty gluing pieces down. But as a result, I have a whole bunch of alcohol ink backgrounds that I made for those cards that I did not use, and I'm trying not to build up a stash of stuff that's going to sit in my craft space for months on end, or years, as the case may be. So we're going to make something with those, and what I've decided to do is we're going to do some die cut layering cards. So I've got a bunch of card bases, and my standard card size that I like to use is 5.5 by 4 1/4 because US letter size paper is 8.5 by 11. So I just cut a sheet in half and then fold those two pieces in half and get two card bases out of that. And then I went ahead and cut card fronts that are 4 1/4 by 5.5 and die cut shapes out of those, and I'll show you all of them in a moment. And then I've got my alcohol ink backgrounds. So I have gone ahead, these are, I don't know who these dies are by, and I don't have the thing handy. I will leave it listed down below because it's not one of my like main die companies that I get dies from, so I don't remember who those are by. These are Simon Says stamp ornament dies. These are Memory Box and Lawn Fawn snowflake dies. These are those pesky Tim Holtz Sizzix ornament dies that gave me so much trouble when I made the alcohol ink backgrounds. And then this is a Memory Box die set that cuts out the little distressed corners on the cards. So these cards are gonna need focal images for them, whereas these cards probably won't, although I may do one with the snowflakes. We're gonna see how that goes. So step one is gonna be taking a card base, deciding what we want to go with our background. So I know which one I want for this guy. I want this green for this guy. And I think I may trim it so that I don't waste all of that inky background, since all you're gonna see is that little bit that shows right there. So let me grab my little guillotine and let's see, let's just do a rough measurement. That's to that line. So that will get glued down over here, and then this will get glued on top. And so we're putting our inky background to use. So let's go ahead and do that. Now for gluing on the top piece, you're gonna want something with a precision tip. You could probably get away with using glue stick, but you're gonna have to be very careful if you've got small cutout bits when you add glue stick to the back. For this piece, I'm just gonna glue around the edges. It doesn't need a lot of glue because we're gonna layer something on top of it, which will keep it in place. And we don't want the glue showing in the spots you can see. All right, so let's grab our next guy. Because I figured for like one of the ornament ones, what we could do is maybe put green down for one of the ornaments. So what I may do is very lightly give myself an idea of where the ornaments are by kind of going like that and like that and like that and that, so that if I want to do, say, green for the little guy, I can cut off a piece of the green. And then what I can do is glue it on the back like so, leaving space for a piece for there. So we're just gonna add a little glue around this. I will come in with my eraser and erase those lines because, yeah, we don't need those after all. And then the die set has like things for hooks for hanging the ornament. So what I'll probably do is die cut those out of a metallic cardstock. And then we've got this guy who might just be enough for that ornament. And then I can just apply a glue around there, and actually we're gonna sliver a little bit more off on this side because I wanna have a little bit of room for gluing the piece that's gonna go for that one. Probably just glue it down at an angle like that. All right, let's put glue around the edges, not right up against the edge, but close, because you know your glue can splooge a little when you put something down on it. And so you want to make sure. There we go, that's down. So we've got 2 ornaments. And what color do we want for the third? Let's see. Got the yellow, the green. Do we want to do purple? That is very dramatic, but I don't know that I love that. We've got a lighter purple that may have enough, may not. If we put a topper over it, we can get away with this. That one. Yep, not sure I love that. All right, so I had a slight filming mishap. I have an alarm that goes off to remind me to get up and move once an hour, and it shut off the camera, and I thought I turned it back on, and apparently I didn't. So I don't believe this got filmed. It might have. If it did, ignore me, because I'm also now filming this like a week later, because that's how my timing works. So if you did not see me do this one, it's pretty much, I just put an entire sheet on and then glued this down on top. And then for this one, I felt the ornaments were a little too plain after I put the pieces behind, and I'm gonna show you how I did this so that I got 3 different colors. So I went in with a Sharpie and drew in the accent bits, because this is one of those Tim Holtz layering die sets. So I did that, and I'm gonna add ornament toppers on top of this in a little bit. And then I started doing this one, which let me get a piece of paper out on here so you can actually see what's going on, is where I left off. So what I did is I just trimmed pieces off that would fill in just the areas where our opening is. And then for the last one, I'm gonna do blue. And this piece had originally been all of this lighter color, but I decided to go with the purple and pink that's on here. It needed to be a bit darker. So I went ahead and just added some more alcohol ink on, and we're gonna just trim this up with some scissors, and I'll show you exactly what I did for the other guys. This goes like so, and so I just went on the back, did my best not to have too much overlapping, so I'll just trim off any of the blue that it's going to overlap the purple, just to make it easier to attach this piece to the card base by not having any extra bulk that's not needed. And so I just add some glue around the ornament, trying not to be too close to the edge because we don't want glue seepage, but I also am not putting giant pieces on, so there's gonna have to be some closeness, if that makes any sense. And I'm just pushing towards the outside, so if the glue does spread a little bit, it spreads away from our opening. And then I'm just gonna trim this excess bit off over here. So that's what that's gonna look like. And this die set actually has one die that does the solid ornament, and then 3 that cut out decorative ornaments with like little cutouts for them. So what I'm gonna do for these guys is glue those back into place over the openings that we backed with the alcohol inked papers to give them some interest. And I'm just trying to decide if I want to leave them white or apply some ink to them, or what I may do is do the tops of them in a metallic, like get my silver metallic pen out and just go over the top bits so that they pop a little, and then draw in like strings for hanging the ornaments off of. We'll come back to that at the end once we've done everybody else. But yeah, I've got to finish popping out all the little pieces on these guys. And sometimes if I don't run it through well enough, I'll get bits that are still stuck in. I'll just come in with a craft knife and trim those out so that they are fully cleared out. So that one's done for now. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and attach it to a card base while I'm thinking about it. Card base. Just gonna add glue on here so I can avoid putting glue where the openings are. And again, with smoothing down, I'm gonna press away from where the ornaments are, so if any of the glue moves around, it's not getting pressed towards our openings. So that one's mostly done. So we'll set that one aside. And I've got a few more over here that I cut out. So let's just go through. And again, another one that's ornament die cuts, and this is a Simon Says stamp die set. So let's go ahead and figure out what we're doing for this one. Just kind of trying to figure out what colors I want to use for this one. Thinking going with this one, if there's enough of it left, which there may just be enough to do it, and then the light blue. Yeah, I think I like that combo. Let's go with that. And again, I've got small spots between the ornaments, so I'm going to be very judicious in my glue application and careful in my alcohol inked paper attachment. So I'm going to start with this one because I've got very little wiggle room since there's just enough of this to do this guy. And it's glued down well. I think I'm gonna have some overlap over here just because that spot is glued down. So there's that one. Let's use this one over here. I'm gonna just trim it down a little bit to start with so that I don't have a ton of excess to work with. That got a little close, so I'm just gonna go like this and reapply my glue over here. There is a little spot over here where it got ripped, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue. I'm gonna use this to press it down to decrease the chance of me getting dirt on there. And to the extent I can see, I don't know how well it's showing up on the screen, that it's not, you know, perfectly white. I will probably go in with a little bit of white pen and just go over it so that it's less noticeable. There's also like glue stuff up here, so there may be some touching up for that. And I'm pretty sure this die set has got things I can die cut out to put on to the ornaments as like little accent pieces. And what I may also do is, so here's the die cut ornaments, cut off the top pieces and glue them into place and ink them with silver or gold pen. So let's set that one aside to dry. I'm just gonna go ahead, and the last, what, 3 I have are like the first one I did. So I'm just gonna go ahead and back these with some of the papers, the alcohol inked papers, and put them on card bases. And then I'll come back and we'll add, like for this one, it needs something else on here. Probably gonna do some kind of sentiment, maybe do a die cut Merry Christmas. Haven't figured that out just yet. So I will get these guys done off camera since you pretty much know what the process is now. Come back when I've got all of the rest of the bits and bobs for finishing off these cards. So I will be back. All right, so I've gone ahead and die cut a whole bunch of stuff out to finish decorating the fronts of our cards. And I just realized something I didn't do that I should have done, but we'll go back and do that in a minute. So we're gonna start with this guy, and I hope I grabbed the right pink. I don't remember what pink alcohol ink I used for this, but I die cut out Merry and Bright from, it's a Tim Holtz Sizzix set, and the number is, because I've got one of the dies sitting here, I think 850099. So I will, right, is that right? Nope, sorry, it's 660058. I had the die upside down, but I'll leave it listed down below. And so I die cut it out of some silver metallic cardstock, but I figured it would pop more if we alcohol inked it, which you can do on this cardstock. We've got Merry and Bright, and I do still have the tilde for the Bright. It's sitting over here on my cutting mat. So I'm just gonna put this on the paper, debating whether I wanna try inking the dot. We're gonna give it a try. So I've got some alcohol ink, and I grabbed Pink Sherbet, which I'm hoping is the right shade of pink. We shall see here in a moment. I don't think this is the right shade of pink. And I've got some alcohol. And we're just gonna add some pink. We're gonna try and add some pink. So there we go. The pink on it is very subtle. I think I may go grab another pink, see if which is the brighter pink, that might work better. So give me a sec, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I've grabbed Flamingo, which is the correct pink, and so hopefully that will work a little bit better and we'll get more of a noticeable pink on them. Oh yeah, that's definitely popping more. Now, of course, you could just leave these silver. You could have die cut them out of gold. You could have die cut them out of a pink metallic cardstock, or regular cardstock, you know, whatever you want. You could do stamping on here if you wanted to. I just figure I've got these dies that I don't use nearly as often as I should. Given how much of an investment dies are, I'm trying to be better about actually using them. All right, we're gonna put Bright on first so that we can space up from him. And I'm gonna use cloth to press it down this way. If there is any glue seepage, I'm not gonna make a mess with the glue seepage. Now for the tilde above the Bright, which, oh man, it was here a second ago. Oh, I am super bummed. It was here like a second ago, and no, that's not it. That was out of the Bright. Oh, come on. Oh, there it is. Yay. Okay, let's get that on before we lose it. So I'm just gonna put the dot on my card instead of trying to put it on the back of the teeny tiny dot. And I'm gonna use my quick stick to pick it up and place it down. I'm gonna call that card done. Now while I've got this paper out and I'm alcohol inking, let's pull over this guy. I die cut these trees and they're a poppy stamp die, but I want to make them green because I think they'll pop better off of the white. So I have grabbed citrus and lettuce, and so we're just gonna ink those up. And this glitter cardstock will take alcohol ink just fine. I did test it out on a scrap paper just to make sure before I bothered die cutting. So there we go, we got green trees now. And so we can do, yeah, I like that much better. And you can still see the sparkle from the glitter in there. So we're gonna put the large tree down first. And then this guy I'm gonna put here, but I'm gonna pop him up on foam squares. So these are Simon Says Samp 3D foam squares. So we're gonna just use a couple on the back of here. So I'm gonna grab my finger tip knife and cut one in half because I want another one on there, but I don't need a full size. So just do a little editing. And I am gonna add a little bit of glue just to make sure they stay stuck, especially since I'm gluing to the glitter cardstock, which can be a little finicky about things being glued on top of it. So just a small amount of dimension, not too much. So it would still be fine to be sent in a regular envelope through the mail. So another card, done. Okay, so for this one, I had planned on doing this guy, which is, I think his name is Winston, and it's a Holtz Sizzix die. But I decided it was covering up too much of the snowflakes, so I decided instead we're gonna do Walter. Now he was a freebie offered December before, as part of a collaboration between Holtz Sizzix and Simon Says Stamp. So it was a spend so much on Holtz products and you could get Walter for free. So other than on, you know, a resale market, Walter is not available for sale anymore, unfortunately, but I am very glad I got him. I really like Walter. And I wanted to do Winter Wonderland, and I think I'm just gonna leave it silver so that I could give him something to stand on. So what we're gonna do is do like Wonderland here and have Walter standing maybe there. Let's see. Wonderland. Set Walter standing on top of there, and then put Winter over here. And yes, you can hear Pacey Pants pacing around because he desperately wants to go out, and I won't let him because he was being a jerk. All right, so I ended up die cutting these two layers out of the same color. I'm just trying to see how much of this, like which one I want to ink. I think I want to ink the top bit. Yeah, I'm gonna ink this, and I'm gonna grab black soot and a brush, and I'm just gonna add a little bit on, and it should be a little bit different from the black cardstock that I did for the base of him, and it will differentiate it from the other gray layer, and so that should work. So yeah, if you've got a variety of distress ink colors, you don't necessarily have to die cut pieces out of different cardstocks because you can always just add ink. All right, let's build Walter. All right, and I've got the rest of his bits and bobs in this little container. So I've got a hat for him, and a scarf, and more pieces for the hat, sunglasses, and there should be one more piece for the hat. So I got all his pieces, and since most of these dies, well, actually all of these dies cut it out of, you know, are one die, so I didn't want to create a bunch of extra pieces that I wasn't going to use. I am going to go ahead and add some ink to this to add some more color. The same with, there's a little piece for his beak that I'll add some color to, but let's go ahead and add the pieces we can so that they're out of the way. So this is his scarf. And it is very subtle, but I'm okay with that because this one's kind of a metallic-y green and this is a pale blue. So we're gonna just go ahead and add that. Just hold it up to make sure, yep, I've got it placed right. And of course, you know, my nerdy soul decided he needed glasses. I think I'm gonna use the tweezers for this one and apply the glue onto the glasses. All right, let's get out some ink and ink those parts up so that we can put them on. And I'm just gonna use a dauber. And for the nose part, let's grab some spiced marmalade. And I'm just gonna get some ink on the dauber and just kind of get that a little darker so that when we add it, it goes here. See, now you can see it. It pops in comparison with the rest of his beak. So for this part, what I want to do is, let's go a little Uncharted Mariner. Be careful how I apply it because I don't want it to go too dark. I just want to give it a little more depth. So I think that's good. We can finish assembling his hat and then attach everything on. So he's good. So let's add our Winter Wonderland. Our W down and then get the rest of the letters straight-ish. So that's another one done. All right, let's put this guy together. And I will leave the name and number for this die down below in the description box because I forgot to grab the stuff and I don't feel like stopping to go grab, you know, the product sheet that came with it. Now we've got, let's pull out pieces. It's broom pieces. carrot nose, some eyeballs, and all that good stuff. Okay. Let's just go to town assembling this guy. All right, nose. I think I need to do some inking again, and I think the orange spice marmalade is gonna work for that too. Don't know if I need to pull it out or if I've got enough on the dauber. All right, now I'm gonna hold this up to my face so I can figure out, because there's an indent marking where his carrot nose goes, and that's right there. So let's glue that down. That's the one problem with using watercolor paper with these color eyes, is the layers start to get very thick. So we've got that. And we've got to put eyeballs on. And the bigger dots are his coal buttons on his body. So let's put a dot of glue there, one there, one there. And he's got a top hat. Leave that sit a second and work on his broom. So we got a broom base, and then we got this piece, and then we got a piece that goes on top. I think I'm gonna ink the bigger piece, and I'm gonna use some mustard seed, but I'm gonna use the same dauber as I did with the spice marmalade, so it'll get even darker. And we're just gonna darken this up so that there's contrast. And I've got to say, I moved with the redo of my craft room, my inked up papers into a container right behind me. And it's making life so much easier having them all in one place, so that when I want to do something with inky papers, I can just open up the tub and sort through the pages and find the colors I want. Let's go ahead and stick him on here. Oh yeah, that's really cute. I really like that. All right, glue him down. I'm gonna ink that with some Uncharted Mariner just to darken it a little so we have some contrast on our berries. And it's got little bits in the center that need to get popped out. There we go, and that card's done. I'm gonna go let a dog out and I'll be right back. Okay, we've got a couple more to finish up and then we will be done with these cards. For this one, I just die cut the little ornament toppers from this set to go on here. So we're just gonna glue those on. trim off the excess. And I've got a little bit of the red alcohol inked paper sticking out the bottom, so let's trim that off. Now I may decide to go back in and put like a sentiment across the bottom there, but right now I'm gonna call this one done. Oh, and I did realize when I went off camera I forgot to put his scarf on, so I just went ahead and glued his scarf on. All right, for these ornaments, I just die cut out the ornament, the top part of the ornament again from silver metallic cardstock, and then these are elements that came with the die set, and I did that out of the glitter cardstock, and so we're just gonna add those on. And that one's done. So this one I realized when I went to do die cutting of the other stuff that it actually comes with a separate die for the toppers. So I just die cut those out of silver, and we're just gonna add these guys on. I'm gonna grab a silver pen and a ruler and just add some strings for the ornaments to be dangling from. So there we go, another one done. And then one last one, yay, we're at the end. And for this one, I die cut out the word Noel from the ornament, and I'm gonna back it with a piece of the same acetate as on that guy. So let's do that. And I realized after I did it, I did not die cut Noel out straight. So I can either put the ornament down at a slight angle and have the Noel be straight, or put the ornament on straight and have the Noel be slightly crooked. I think it may land somewhere in between. And then I saved the little pieces to add in for the center of the O and the E so that it will stand out more, or I had them and I lost the one for the center of the E. Oh man, I apparently dumped them out on the table, and in cleaning up, got rid of stuff. All right, I think that piece will work. And that piece will work. And we've got the piece still in the E. All right, and I should have glued down these pieces. So we're gonna come in and do that now. All right, we're gonna do that. We're gonna turn this around. We're gonna put our Noel die cut it out piece there and decide who's going where. All right, I think we'll do one piece will go here, one will go there, one goes there. That looks good. I'm okay with that. All right. And then I did do the top piece out of different metallic cardstock, although I don't know that it stands out enough, so I think I'm gonna grab some alcohol ink and ink it. I'll be right back. I need to grab a color. All right, so I've grabbed Crimson Distress ink, or alcohol ink, and we're just gonna add some to the top, just so that there's a bigger contrast. Tapping it again with the alcohol just so that it's a little less solid, because I don't necessarily want it like solid red. Let's get a little bit more alcohol. That's more what I was looking for, just to change the color enough that it doesn't blend into the gold. And then I'm gonna grab my gold pen and ruler and draw a line. And this card is done. So let's pull back all of the cards and take a look at what we got done today. Okay, so we've got this guy. This one. This one. This adorable little gentleman. Another set of ornaments, and I just realized I didn't add the strings for those, so I'll do that off camera. Walter. Look at how cute he is. This one, I really like how this came out. And then Merry and Bright. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Christmas cards for our 12 months of Christmas card episode. Yay! So that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting!